Okay, I've never done that before. All right.
Okay.
Hi, Scott. This
Hi, Annie.
Hello. I wanted to hear a little bit more about your journey, your health journey, and how you found Smart Press Juice.
Um, sure. Actually, I'll start with my diagnosis, my health diagnosis that kind of shook my world. And that was back in 2015. I was about a year away from retirement, and I went to the doctor for a normal physical. She noticed a little uptick in my kidney function and my creatinine level, and she suggested I get that checked out. Well, a simple urine exam uncovered some cancer, some multiple myeloma, bone bone marrow cancer. So that was the beginning of a long journey. I underwent stem cell transplant, and I went through 3 years of weekly chemo. And prior to all of that, I was always very aware and focused on taking care of my body. I felt this obligation that I needed to be healthy and do the best that I could to take care of myself. And was very active. I jogged for many years until my knees gave out. I was always conscious of the food I ate and tried to be responsible and take care of myself. So the cancer treatment kind of shook me, and went through the 3 years of treatment and came out of it with no detectable cancer at that point. And but during that time, I needed to get back on. I kind of got off the wagon as far as being focused on my health and everything. I was spending so much time at the hospital, so much time at the infusion centers and the chemo. And I was looking for juice to take, some kind of juice products, because in the past I had been very involved with juicing wheatgrass, juicing vegetables, and as you folks well know, that's a very difficult process. It involves a lot of time and effort. So I needed something that was simpler and yet still beneficial. And I stumbled on you guys' website and started buying your products and started taking them during my treatment. And I came out of the treatment with no detectable cancer, and there's been no detectable cancer since then. So I'm in my 10th year now, actually, since my diagnosis, and doing great. My last checkup at Emory, no detectable cancer. I was actually diagnosed originally with um, high risk multiple myeloma with not a very optimistic prognosis. And I flew past all that. And the doctors told me that at this point, I should be responding as a normal myeloma patient. And right now, they're doing incredible work, incredible research, coming up with incredible medications, just not for myeloma patients, but for all cancer patients. I have a sister who was diagnosed with stomach cancer. They gave her 8 months to live. She's now in her 8th year. So it's just amazing what's happening. And there's a lot of reason to be optimistic, a lot of reason to really look forward to an improved life, an improved quality of life, a good quality of life. And so that's what I try to focus on. I try to be positive. I try to look for the best. And that's kind of where I am right now. And I'm very indebted to you and your company for the juices that you offer, because they're a big part of my life. Just as I was showing Annie, I drink my my ugly juices that taste great, and they're a daily part of my life, and I think they're an important part of my nutrition. I spoke to Annie a little bit earlier too about how the medical field and in all of the involvement I've had with them over the past 10 years, no one's ever spoken to me about nutrition or the importance of nutrition in my treatments. And so that's something you kind of have to do yourself and be proactive as a patient. And that's what I've tried to do to a certain degree. And the smart press juices make it just so simple, to get the nutritional, to get the nutrition and to get the benefit from the nutrition that you guys offer from your juices. So I think it's a big part of my health journey and a big part of the reason I'm doing so well. So, but um, I'm sorry that your husband's dealing with the issues that he's dealing with, Jen. It hurts my heart for a young person like that to have to go through things like this. It's just for us old folks. We should be the only ones that have to deal with it, not you young folks. But trust me, there's so much positive out there. There's so many things happening in the cancer field. There's so much reason to be optimistic. So I know he'll be fine. I know he'll pull through this. So,
Thank you,
no,
Scott.
sure, absolutely.
Beautiful. Thank you so, so much. You're such a kind soul too. I could see it. And I feel like that, like I said earlier, with my dad, it's holistic, right? You need to have all the parts come together, and I think
Yeah,
that's what makes you thrive. So, and I see it, you have like a great mindset. You always had that mindset, which is wonderful. It's not like you got the diagnosis and then
yeah,
started the journey. You've always taken care of yourself,
yeah.
mindful, and you have, you just have a great outlook and you're positive, and you kind of see the hope, and yeah, and you're kind. So all of that just comes together. So if anyone, if anyone can make it out of it, I know it's you. So thank you for sharing that story.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so precious.
Well, well, thank you guys too for helping me along my little journey here. So,
Well, if you, I don't know if you have my email, but I don't know why my computer logged me out of everything, and I don't even know how to get into my own email. But do I have yours, or
I'm sure you do.
oh yeah,
SWLARS.
okay. I will send you an email. So if you ever have any health questions, please let me know.
Oh,
Just in terms
absolutely.
of nutrition, I might not be an expert on multiple myeloma, but yeah, if you ever have any just random health questions, I'm always full of unsolicited food facts. I'm the worst person to have at dinner parties because I love talking about like which ingredient is the best way to prep it. It's horrible. It's very annoying, and I can't stop.
Well, you've kind of answered my one question about my juices because I just throw it all together and
Mhm.
add stuff, whatever I have in the refrigerator. It sounds like you kind of do the same thing
That's
too.
exactly why
Yeah.
it's so ugly. It's so ugly. And it doesn't look as beautiful as it does like what my girls do for Instagram, but I'm like this is the stuff, because
Yeah.
I'll throw in vegetables in it too, and just the more the better, The if you can get 30 plus different types of plants in your diet every single day, it's just the best predictor of longevity and health. So,
One quick question. One quick question. And with normal juicing, they say you should ingest the juice within 15 minutes or so to get the full nutritional value. Does the smart juice lose any of its nutritional value the longer it's
yeah, I mean, it's just with any fresh produce, that when you process it, if you cook it, put it in water, that's when the degradation starts. So that's why in the
okay?
freeze-dried state, it's perfect because it's
Yeah,
maintained at that
yeah,
level. But
yeah,
when you
yeah.
put it into water, that's when the degradation starts. So then it's just kind of a race against time. So yeah,
Yeah.
it is better to, I mean, I'm kind of guilty of it. I sometimes will take the whole day to sip through it, but I also make a
Oh.
bonus smoothie. I still have the other half in my NutriBullet over there. I'm like, I gotta drink it all, and I get so full.
Yeah, it is filling. It's a great lunch. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also it's great because it keeps us full without, I feel like as we get older too, we don't need as many calories. And
Yeah,
that's probably a
that's
huge
true.
reason why cancer is so prolific when you're older, because we're ingesting more calories than we need. And there's a lot of research that comes out now that says that we only really need, as we get older, only need 1 meal a day. So
Wow,
we don't
interesting.
really need more than that. I think no matter what, we have an increased protein requirements. So it's always good to drink protein powders. There's a health hacker that's really famous. I think his name is like Max Lugarve or something. But he drinks a protein drink with every meal. And he's saying it's
Wow,
because as you get older, also our ability to intake to absorb protein and break it down like from meats is impaired. So we actually don't absorb as much as we need. So he drinks it like it's his beverage with his
wow,
just to get extra protein. And
protein.
like for you, it's really important too because of
The
your
bones, yeah.
yeah, it's good to get as much protein as you can get. So I thought that was like really interesting. So like you can drink maybe protein like 2 to 3 times a day, but we could theoretically, and I've seen one couple that I worked with for during the pandemic. They for them it was they were in their 60s, and they were a little bit on the rotund side. And what they ended up doing was the everything smoothie. So they would work out in the morning fasted and then go on a 5 mile walk around the lake. And then they would make this huge smoothie with everything and berries. So they would do all of it with berries. That was their lunch. And then at about 3:30 p.m., they would have their dinner. So they would have their lean protein and their veggies and their whole grains, and that would be it.
Hmm.
That's all they ate. And they did it over the course of 2 years. And I mean,
Wow.
they're fitter than I am.
Yeah,
So and seeing how vital they are, and then they're now competitive pickleball players. I cannot keep up with how fast they are. But I was thinking, wow, it really works. This 1 meal a day, a smoothie, but I mean, their smoothie has stuff in it, and they do double the protein, like double
wow,
what it says. So they do that. So they make sure they're getting plenty of protein. So they're doing 30 grams of protein every time they make the shake. And then for their meal, they get the rest of it, and then that's how they just keep up. I'm not
wow.
quite sure for cancer what the proper thing is because I know there's an increased need for protein with cancer.
Huh.
Most people get sarcopenia with cancer because your body just doesn't absorb things anymore.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so I'm still curious. I'm still learning myself. But I'm just thinking like just for people who are normally healthy as we get older, we really don't need to eat that many times a day. And then when your body's ingesting that many, like that much excess calories, then it probably just turns around and starts making cancer cells, right? I made enough fat, now let's start making more, right? You're giving me
wow.
so much more
Yeah,
than I need. So it's just kind of a theory I have in my head, like why is it so prevalent? Why?
yeah, interesting. It's such a it's such a complex disease, and every patient is different because we all have genetic makeup. Our genetic makeup is different, and that's what I found with myeloma anyway. I suspect it's the same with all cancers and all patients and that's why it's been so hard to find a cure for cancer because everyone's different and everyone
Yeah,
responds differently to
it's so
different
much more.
medications. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. So, well, Annie, I don't want to take up any more of your time. It's been
Thank you for spending your morning with me. I loved it. I absolutely
oh
loved
oh
it.
well
I'm
well
so
thank you.
inspired, and I can't
Oh
wait
well
to share this with Jen because, we need some good news. And
oh well
and this
well
was
I,
awesome.
yeah, you guys have been through a lot, been through a lot. You're too young to have to go through all that. So,
Well, thank you so much. And
okay.
I'm going to send you that book. I hope you read it.
Oh,
Tell me what
oh,
you think.
absolutely.
I'll send you an
Uh,
email so that way you have my email, but please reach out at any time. I'd love
Okay.
to hear from you always.
Okay, Annie. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Scott. Take
Uh-huh.
care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.